Welcome back to Horror of the Worlds, where we talk about horror movies and the influences they have had on the world around us. I'm Curtis Gerhart,
I'm Stephen Miller.
and today we are talking video games. You know, like the first video game horror movies are the ones that are the first video games and turn into a movie.
Right.
So I guess quick synopsis with video games, because I mean it's something that I'm pretty sure if you're watching us on YouTube, you don't really care about this, or you already know about it, or already forgot about it. But the extremely quick overview is one of the first at-home video games was like Pong. Like it's arguably, if this was the first one, I think it's like the second one. I don't have it written down, but this came out in 1972 with a team led by Ralph Baer. That name might sound familiar if you ever watched G4 Tech TV back in the day, like because they always did documentaries.
G4 was the shit.
I fucking love that channel so much. It was constantly on until.
So
it
you
became
first
a
saw
reality
Olivia
show.
Munn?
Yes, that's what she got to start on. What, Attack of the Show?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
man.
Good times. I really do miss that era.
Yeah.
But shortly after, just like when movies actually started, a horror game was right around the corner as well. So in 1972, Haunted House came out, which I want to say this one was, you were actually trying to go through a mansion, and you were just like a set of eyeballs. I'm trying to remember this one.
Fucking weird.
But it had flashes, like for lightning, and that kind of showed you the walkway. So you kind of had to go through the walkway, and shit happened. I don't 100% remember everything else. Something that is actually pretty cool is back in '83, we had Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween had their own video games.
Wasn't that the same time? Was that Super Nintendo? Didn't
No.
no, Nintendo.
Nintendo came out about 2 years after this, like about 1984,
okay.
1985.
That's when you saw Friday the 13th game was on Nintendo.
Which I do have that in the closet. That same with the Nightmare on Elm Street, which I'm surprised I don't have Nightmare on Elm Street up there, to be honest. Yeah, one thing that I thought was cool about the Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre is M. Charles Band from Full Moon Features, the one that actually did Evil Bong and Puppet Master and all that stuff.
Yeah, all right,
He was always a pioneer. He always started shit. Like something new's happening, he's doing it. A couple years later, in 1984, 85, NES, Nintendo came out. We're here in America. It was a family con in Japan. But this was, I want to say, like the birth of modern day at home video game consoles.
Yeah.
So I still remember being brought up and watching my brother and sister playing Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all that.
I always thought it was funny. Everybody's talking about, especially these days, the fight between consoles and shit like that.
Oh, the console wars.
Yeah, I've never given a shit. Like, no. Video games is good. I just like video games. Every system has their game.
You had your favorite. And you could always tell your favorite, because there was a trick that we learned in like high school, because this was when kind of the 360, but the Xbox, GameCube, and PS2 were the things. And you went up to someone like, "Oh, you play video games?" Like, pretend you're holding a controller, and while their thumb layout, you can find out what they played and stuff. Like you could tell if they played like 64 or something like that, because their hand was like all fucked
your
up.
Cramped up hand playing an NES.
So it was just kind of like one of those cool kind of tricks. I didn't realize PlayStation was as old as it is.
Yeah, I sometimes the only reason I remember is because I'm looking at the graphics throughout time and playing Resident Evil on PlayStation 1 and how blocky Lara Croft looks, things like that.
Oh, the polygons.
Yeah.
So that PlayStation came out in 9/9/95, tail end of Japan in 1994, but mid to late 95 here in America.
I don't think I had one till like early 2000s.
See, that's what I mean.
I had the PlayStation 1, the first compact PlayStation that they made.
The actual the meat.
Yeah, the one that was actually labeled the one.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's they do that with all the fucking consoles. Like people are like, "Oh, they did it with the Xbox." Like, no, they did it with damn near everyone.
No, this thing was
PlayStation. PlayStation had the main console, and then a smaller one.
Yeah,
PS2
and it was about the size of a Walkman. Mm-hmm. Like it was very small.
And the PS2 had the best upgrade where it fit in a glove box.
Yeah.
That's when you had Pimp My Ride start throwing a PlayStation in every fucking car. Again, this fucking era. PlayStation had a slew of horror video games.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have Clock Tower, which I think there was a movie about that one as well. You have Dino Crisis, which is...
was it Turok on there, or was that a Nintendo?
Turok was 64.
Oh, it was 64.
That was... I still remember one of the scenes, and it still kind of frightens me a little bit. That is a scary game to me. But then again, it's a dinosaurs.
Yeah,
They're easy to be scared of. I mean, Jurassic Park.
that's my favorite.
But I mean, you have Resident Evil and Silent Hill.
Oh, Silent Hill.
There are so many more that I'm
Silent Hill
not
was
mentioning.
a special sort of fucked up, really.
We're getting to Silent Hill. We are talking about that one in this episode. First one we're going to talk about is the one that possibly helped pioneer survival horror video games and kicked off the whole video game movies. And we were talking about Super Mario Brothers. No, banger of a fucking movie. Fuck you if you don't like it. I actually like that goddamn movie. Dude, I'm fucking moving around a lot. I'm sorry, I'm so squirmy. We were talking about Resident Evil, where the game released in 1996.
The very limited amount of ammo in that game.
It's still
sparing.
limited in.
I liked 5. 5, it felt like you could get a little bit more ammo going on in there, but you were also first one that I remember where you're side by side with a teammate.
I don't think I fully. I know it
was it
I've
for?
never played any of them fully through.
Oh.
I played a little bit on one of the PlayStations or PS2. I hated the controls.
Okay.
Because I hit it where it was like that kind of like that over the shoulder, and you aimed where the. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you aimed with the side, like where you're shooting instead of like the gun itself. No, so I like first-person shooters a lot of the time.
Right.
So it was very hard and clunky for me. I tried playing Resident Evil 2, the remake. That was a lot of fun, and I fucking hate that you can't kill zombies. So it's like, why do I want to shoot these fuckers and waste my ammo and break my knife? And then it's just like, they're just gonna come back.
That's what I liked about The Last of Us, is because they brought back that nostalgia of you have limited ammo, don't fuck it up. Now you got to get creative, and they let you be a little bit creative with distractions and shit like that, sneaking around. It made it more terrifying.
I think that's what DayZ kind of was. Like you dropped in and you were just pretty much naked. I mean, it's just like Fortnite and all that stuff, but you're just kind of survival, and you come across a backpack that has a gun and no ammo.
What do I need this candlestick for? Fuck it.
But I think that's right. But that's one of the things. Like, it is a Capcom game, which I don't know about you, but there are 2, possibly 3 video game names that pop up or sounds that are just burned in my memory, and it is that Capcom logo.
Oh yeah.
The Sega logo and EA Sports. It's in the game.
Sports.
Yeah.
It's in the game.
That was just like one of those things that just was in there. But yeah, no, I wish I could talk more about the video game itself.
The video game itself, for me, it's hit and miss. So I remember I played the first one all the way through, and then the next one that I played all the way through was the 5th one, I believe, where they go to Africa, and it was a bit more terrifying because it was strange how they did the scenes in there. They had it very bright, but at the same time, when you were in shelter, it still had corners of darkness, so things lurking out at you, hordes, stuff like that. It was.
Yeah, no.
It was impactful to me as far as the storyline goes. It was very, very, like, terrifying. And the white glowing eyes, it would just, fuck that. Like we were talking with Shaun of the Dead, it carried in same way in this one.
Like, I think it is that red or white glowing eyes when it comes to, like, a zombie that is just a little extra spooky. Not the whole, like, glazed over or the, like, black eyes. It's just that glow is all of a sudden.
The zombies up until then didn't scare me as much, but when you're looking at the actual storyline and the craftsmanship they put into what things look like in that game, on top of limited ammo, with a partner, so you could be terrified as a group, I feel like that one was one of my favorite. It rekindled my love of the Resident Evil games.
Well, it's like the short amount of time I played like Resident Evil 2 was I had the headset on, and it just. You'll get more into it because you just hear that.
Yeah.
And like in the background, like you're just like, fuck, you get that dread so much more quicker than you do like an actual movie.
Absolutely right. With the actual movie, the only one that I felt that with was the first movie. The first movie to me did a lot, and I mean the scoring was a part of it that I really enjoyed.
Well, of course the score. Well, I mean, I was saying more so the soundtrack than the score, but I mean for the. Go on.
With the lurking sounds and stuff like that, like. I feel like they did a lot. They didn't do good with the liquor, in my opinion. Even when I'm looking at it now, I'm like, they could have put more money into the CGI on that one.
Again, the movie came out in 2002.
Yeah, there was.
So this is what 2 years, like 2-3 years after The Matrix. So CG was still in that weird adolescent.
You're right.
stage.
It's just when you're looking at things like Jurassic Park, all right, that had nothing but a book to go off of. This had a multi-franchise movie at that time to go off of, and you couldn't put a little practical effects into that and add on the CGI. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They redid some of that later. They made up for it in the later ones, but the first one, I think if I remember correctly, it was the only one that was rated R, and I feel like it should have had the most backing. Slipknot wasn't as popular at the time, and they were featured on the soundtrack. The whole soundtrack's fucking great. Marilyn Manson not only scored it, but also put his own music into it. And it was one-off stuff. It wasn't just him taking, this is from this album, this from this album. It'll go good with this movie. No, he made handmade
this one
shit.
felt like a video game too.
Yes, that's what I felt like with it.
Kind of like where you're going with like the practical effects or the special effects. Like I felt like it went like it ping ponged from like the first one didn't have that much, and they put more money into it and made it look better. And I think it was like around the 5th one or something like that. They just like said, "Fuck it,
we're gonna kill Mike Epps for like the billionth time."
Like he was like in like what 3-4 of them, and played a different character in each one.
And he
I
died.
feel like that's a little bit racist.
He died gruesomely each fucking time. Well, that's I kind of like that.
Wasn't the second one like wasn't like the strippers is what killed him or something like that?
So that's what. So a little off topic, but the same thing that happened with Jack Nicholson in Mars Attacks. It feels like they just kept doing that. Oh, you tell me not to kill him. We're gonna make him 2 characters and kill both of them. And then Mike Epps, it was like, no, we'll bring it back and kill you. It's like you hit revive and just to die again. And
maybe that was
a video game revive. Yeah.
With that like talking about like Adam Green with Hatchet. That's what it was. So I mean, you had oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. Like he played the geek in Grandma's Boy.
Oh God! You're gonna have to know that Nick Swanson,
the boss. That I guess he also played in Avatar.
Oh yeah. No. You're right. I never knew his name. He was in Dodgeball. That's what I remember.
Yes,
where he was from.
Name's gonna pop up here, and along with the picture. I can't remember. Unfortunately, I can't remember his name, but he pretty much popped up in every single Hatchet movie except for Victor Crowley, if I'm not mistaken. But Perry Shaw, I think is his name. I can't. Again, name right here, face. It's an Asian dude that he played a different character in every one of the Hatchet movies, and they're like all of his brothers or something like that, like the family. Like it is. I fucking love the Hatchet movies so much. Watch those movies, but all right, back to the video games. Sorry, we had to hit pause for a minute.
So with the first video game, it didn't match up with the first movie. Like I don't, at least from what I remember. Like I said, I want to say it was the late '90s when I played the first Resident Evil.
I think that's the thing. Like with the first Resident Evil movie, felt like it was a love note and an homage to the games.
It was, yeah. So it was several games deep by that point,
and it didn't feel like one of the games. You know, looking back at and watching some of the videos of the original gameplay, it didn't feel like Resident Evil 1 or 2. However, the Raccoon City, the most recent Resident Evil, actually felt like, was it Resident Evil 2, at least a remake of the video game. And I enjoyed that one a lot. I don't remember it. I remember the ending. I just remember the guy being on fire and it looking kind of shoddy, but...
with the movies, I feel like they should have just kept it with an R rating. I mean, it sounds dumb, but there was just so much violence.
Yeah, I can see the PG-13 because of just trying to get kids to watch, because kids are playing these video games, and you want them in the theater.
There are some points where I felt Army of the Dead nailed Resident Evil better than the movies after the first one nailed Resident Evil. You haven't seen Army of the Dead? No,
I haven't seen it.
That one's good. It's bright and colorful for such a horrific movie.
Isn't it like zombie tigers or something like that in there too?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's Vegas, right? I know I am actually really excited to go see the new Resident Evil. I don't remember what the name after Resident Evil is, but I want to say it's Zach Krager is directing this one.
Have you seen the TV show?
What TV show?
I think they had a Resident Evil TV show.
They had.
I was out for a season, and then they kind of dropped it off.
Are that animation?
Yeah, no. This was live action. Maybe it wasn't Resident Evil. I've been watching a lot of horror movies and shit like that, so it's a lot of things are getting mixed up. So in 2002 or 2022, There was one season of a Resident Evil horror series, and it can be seen on Netflix.
I don't think I've ever watched it, or I probably thought it was just like an animation because I've never watched any of the animations because I
It
think there's
had Mila
degradation.
Jovovich in it. I put it on my I need to watch list, and I just haven't watched it yet. But
Things like Krieger is either directing or producing the new Resident Evil movie that's coming out, so that's kind of exciting.
yeah, the games have come a long way.
Games they have,
And I know I say I didn't like anything after the first one, but I've watched them all. I'm excited for a new one.
it's like the Final Destination movies.
Yeah.
You're gonna kind of follow through.
Oh man, I don't remember watching that first Final Destination. It was peak
Have you watched
CGI in
Bloodlines
my
yet?
opinion. Oh no, I have not.
Give that one a watch. I don't. I was actually really surprised because the name is like Final Destination Bloodlines, and the Bloodlines they actually have the whole family involved into this one. So it's actually a kind of a nice, refreshing version of Final Destination.
Man, the first Final Destination, it didn't affect me as much as the second for some reason.
I can see that. I mean, I'm kind of surprised because, well, I mean,
I feel like that's like the Chucky series and the Jason. Like there's so many of them. Which one came out when you first started watching it is most relevant to you? And for me, I guess it's the second one.
Yeah, which Jason is yours?
Yeah, which
You know,
Jason,
it's-
which Chucky is yours? All that. Yeah.
I guess like if we were both raised in the Pacific Northwest, number 2 probably would have had a bigger impact on us.
Yeah,
but-
absolutely.
In California, you don't really see those fucking trucks. But so all right, this game released in 1996, and it was a gaming cabinet. So usually that term is like when you went to an arcade. An arcade is where you actually used to drive to a place, and they had a bunch of video games constantly on, and you put a quarter in, or you swipe a card later on in the years.
Not just pinball.
Yeah. So that was like a gaming cabinet.
You had to share with other people.
This movie is a movie. The game
putting it
is
nicely.
far superior because it was one of the few games that actually had the gun,
Yeah.
which is House of the Dead that came out in 2003, directed by Uwe Boll.
My favorite games like that were the ones that actually had like the whole recoil going on.
Dude, there
like,
was
it felt real.
Ghost. I think it was something Ghost or something like that, and it had like G.H. and it had like the actual like rifle
yeah.
and just fucking vibrated. Like that one was so much freaking fun. But yeah, this was a Sega game. Well, at least the cabinet was, and they let you know this was a Sega game in the movie because it is. I wish I knew how to describe it. It feels like a very shitty attempt at making a Skinamax softcore.
Wow. I have not seen this one.
So, hey, have the nudity there, but even no sex scenes. As much as I love senseless tits in movies, this one was just like, okay, okay, you're done. But this is also another one we could put on the list of Pacific Northwest, like British Columbia or like BC,
All right.
horror, because I want to say it was based in up here somewhere.
Man, so few get good. It's not enough good movies and games
Last
are from
good
here.
movie that came out in Washington was Twilight.
Fuck you. And that house is for sale.
Is
It's. I think it might have just
Is
sold
there-
for way too much.
Are we talking? The
It's-
only one
it
I
doesn't
know
matter.
of is okay,
It's
I'll leave it
horrible.
there. I'm good. This movie, I don't know if I'm gonna ruin it. Don't watch it. So, like, even if you're a fan of like video game horror movies, seriously, like skip this one the fuck over. You know, I don't say that often. Like when there's, usually I always love movies. even
Oh
no matter
yeah,
how bad they
it's one of those things I've always said is there's no such thing as a bad horror movie because you can always find enjoyment on some level. Some of them.
Maybe with this one, because there's a one that we're going to be talking about in a future episode that people hate, but I love because it's just, I watched it when it came out and I fucking love that movie. But this one, maybe there are those 5 fans that have watched this movie and love it.
Yeah, please send your hate in the comments.
I would love send comments. But no, there is the cutscenes, the transitions are very short clips of the video game of just like the like just like the actual like gunfights and all that stuff. So I mean, it's like
Kind of like Doom had that one scene where it's first person and they just kind of nailed it. But I'd have been sick. It was the whole fucking movie.
But no, this is like legitimate, like from the video game itself.
Oh wow!
Cutscenes.
Oh right.
So it's like they were letting you know this was based off of a video game. It was pushing it down the throat. There were
go play our game.
There is actually one. There is a cool. Oh man, I kind of hate to say the word cool. There is this scene that is the biggest action scene where everyone is just shooting guns.
America.
This is the most American scene out there, but they're just like shooting guns and actually hitting zombies. You know, you just see them like this, and then you see zombies are just fucking falling. But there are.
That's good shit.
That's the only kind of cool scene, which I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. I am not going to link it because I do not want to put more time and effort into this movie than I already have.
All right.
But I guess this was like one of the few and last movies that did this. I did not write it down of the rig because they were saying like the rig was like a record player. So you had the person standing like in the middle, and the camera would actually like spin around them really fast.
Oh.
So it kind of gave them like a kind of a cool like stationary video game effect. So those effects were kind of cool, but I wish it kind of carried over. Yeah, I think like the only somewhat saving grace that someone might actually want to watch this movie, it has Clint Howard in it.
Oh, I love Clint Howard.
That's the thing. Like, so it's like, well, it's like, oh, he's gonna be in it. It's gonna be. This movie is shit. Thankfully, he's not a main character. Like he does what he kind of does. He's always kind of like that side character.
I'm always stoked when I see Clint Howard. I mean, like when I saw what was it? He was in Terrifier 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When I saw, I was like, oh fuck yeah, this is gonna be great. He's gonna die horribly.
I don't remember how he does. I think I've seen Terrifier 3 once.
Man.
I think I need to rewatch it.
He's
again.
up in there, and I heard they're remaking Ice Cream Man. Just saying.
I'm kind of curious.
That's the kind of shit you should be remaking. Stop remaking Gold and go back and remake something that could have been better.
I'm curious if they're actually remaking Ice Cream Man because Eli Roth is making an Ice Cream Man movie.
It might be. That might be what I heard.
So I think Clint Howard is Ice Cream Man, but I don't. I haven't looked more into this because I'm waiting for definitive answers.
Yeah.
I don't like giving false news, but the real
sometimes
news is,
false news creates a real news. So make an Ice Cream Man, Clint Howard Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, I at least have Clint Howard and Eli Roth Ice Cream Man.
Yeah,
which I'm kind of surprised he's doing ice cream. I thought he was doing Thanksgiving too before.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
We go into a game / movie that I have not played any of the video games.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I'm not a fan of horror video games. It's just I never had time. And I hated this movie when it came out, and I'm still not a huge fan of it. Maybe you might be able to like sway me a little bit, but the video game came out in 1999, and the movie came out in 2006, and we were talking about Silent Hill.
Silent Hill. All right, so I can see why you have beef with the game. The game, it carries itself kind of like a choose your own destiny kind of game, and it gives you limited ammo like in Resident Evil, but realistically, I don't even remember picking up ammo, really. I remember collecting things, and I don't like games where you have to have a barrage of shit carried in your backpack and you're constantly making room for it. Borderlands set aside for that one. But but
RPGs,
yeah,
for the most part,
yeah, it's just there's so much going on in that game. I feel like part of the reason why it was a good game is because you get caught up in building stuff and making things happen just to be terrified. That's why I liked it. I liked it for the horror factor. I feel like the movies were fucking awesome. I love all of them.
The bit I know about the video game was, thankfully for where we were in the video game history, it helped make that game more scary. So you still kind of see in Grand Theft Auto a lot, but especially when it came to like PlayStation and stuff, like when you drove forward or you moved forward, you always had like the buildings or whatever appearing, that whole antiquing or whatever, just because you couldn't really see that far ahead. Like,
right, it always appeared out of the fog, yeah.
So, but with Silent Hill, they made up for it by putting you in the fog, so you didn't know how far, you didn't know where you were going, so it wasn't what street to turn or what corner, like just all of a sudden popped up. It was just you were lost.
With this one, I don't remember actually playing. I remember watching my friends play the game, so I was more intrigued by the storyline, and that's why when the movies came out, I was all about it. And the fact that they got even more graphic than I fucking thought they would.
Or the sequels to the movies?
The movies themselves. When the chick had the chain ran through her, like holy fuck.
Was this the first one?
I want to say it was either the first one or the second one. I can't remember because I always watch both of them.
All right. Because I've been wanting to watch because since I watched the first Silent Hill, Retaliations or whatever keeps on popping up, and I think I haven't sat down to watch that one yet.
No, they. I feel like they carried that creep factor pretty hard. Then you have your confused boner with the nurses. Yeah.
No confusion there.
There's so many iconic scenes in that movie that were definitely because of the game.
I think that's one of the reasons why when I watched it when it first came out, I didn't like it because I wanted more Pyramid Head. Because he was very iconic. Like the Pyramid Head, he had like a giant fucking sword.
Yeah.
Like a giant metal pyramid thing on his head.
For a dome, yeah. It kind of, the whole thing reminded me of The Cell. Well, I mean, well, that's probably why I like The Cell, is because I enjoyed watching my friends play the game.
I feel like this is like if you like The Cell, you'll probably like this, or vice versa. And I was kind of reading reviews and just like trying to figure out why I didn't like this one watching it again. And a lot of people are saying that this is one of the very few video game movies that represented the video game the best, especially for this time frame. Because the early to mid 2000s, we just fucking like thank God because of Resident Evil, video game movie came out one after another.
Yeah.
So we're kind of going through it again a little bit now, but
that's why I have so much beef with the movies that when they don't match up with the game, is because some of us put our heart and soul into 100%ing that motherfucker, and we have to play the storyline over and over again in order to get that storyline, and they just shit all over a script given to them.
Well,
and sometimes it's not the director's fault. Sometimes that's the production company's fault, but it still kills me when it happens. It's like, that's not how that happened.
So that's kind of one of the things, like why, well, let's put a pin in that moment for a thing. Because I do want to say that I am going to be playing this new Silent Hill. I think it was like Silent Hill F or File F or something like that, where it's just supposed to be a standalone. It has nothing to do with the previous Silent Hills. So I think this might be my time to get into the game.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about things falling off, like the video game and the movie not really coalescing with each other, is I think why Until Dawn got so much fucking hate.
Probably.
And stuff like I was reading the reviews again. I was like, after I went to go see this movie, why are people hating this goddamn movie? Like it was a lot of fun. It has that feel that I like, that kind of that, not quite the 80s grittiness, but it has that kind of, it felt dirty. People felt like they were unclean in this movie.
Yes. I know exactly what you mean. It had that 80s kind of storyline, I feel like. I mean, it was a bit cliche of a storyline, but I even having control of the character, I'm like, don't go out in the fucking woods. Like, you know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah, you only had so much control over the game itself.
Yeah, but that's kind of what made me interested in the game in the first place. And I loved reading those follow your own story books. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We always have your finger on the other page.
Yeah. I didn't read it all the way.
My finger was still on it. Fucking Family Guy. But the video game was fucking awesome. This is one of the ones that I played with my girlfriend, where we shared, like, we just swapped, whenever our characters swapped, we swapped controllers, and I had a blast. I fucking love this one. I love The Quarry, because this is like the same designers. I want to say the same team-ish doing it, but granted, it was, I think this the game came out in 2014, 2015, and The Quarry came out in 2020 or 2022.
2022, I want to say.
Which feels like ages ago, but not that long ago.
No, there were plenty of things that were happening at that time that we're still absolutely loving.
Mm-hmm. Fuck. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people played The Quarry too, because it was a great time killer for, was it PC post-COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah, BC and PC.
You're just getting over the fact that you were locked down, but you still didn't want to socialize.
I know, you're actually able to go outside without a mask. That was real times. Movie. We'll talk about the movie and then the kind of video game, because I know you play the video game, but you haven't seen the movie yet. So actually, I'll kind of merge the two together. one of the biggest connective tissues, because I think he was also in the Quarry. I could be wrong right now, but is Peter Stormare. I'm always mispronouncing his last name. But he is the guy that always plays like in Lindemann music videos, American Gods. He was like the Thor-esque character. I can't remember his the actual god he played, but he was in John Wick.
He was in
he was everything. He's always that evil Russian, Ukrainian.
Wait. He was the guy that was in Until Dawn. Yeah, I haven't seen the movie. Yeah. I thought you were talking about the guy that was actually in American Gods. Wasn't the guy that played Odin?
No, not Odin. No.
He played,
I guess both of them played in John Wick. So I guess
he played Lucifer and Constantine. He was probably the best portrayal of the devil ever. Yes.
But everyone kind of knows him as his like balding and his beard and always that raspy, just like I'll fuck you up before you even.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to fuck with this guy kind of vibe. But I love anything that he's in.
Oh, dude, his character in Armageddon was probably my favorite. The crazy Russian stuck out in the space station by himself for far too long. He's like talking to himself, floating through the fucking space station. That's the character I first remember seeing him as.
Oh my
God. Since then, I haven't been able to unsee him. And it's like, oh, there's that guy.
So I haven't seen Armageddon.
Oh, you haven't seen Armageddon?
Because isn't it Armageddon? No, it's Volcano Dante's Peak. Armageddon.
Dante's Peak was great too, but yeah, he wasn't in there.
No. But that's the thing, because like there were those movies that same movie came out in different movies. Yeah. Like Volcano and Dante's Peak were the same movie, but they were just different movies. Was it Armageddon the same thing?
Armageddon, big old fucking asteroid coming to Earth, gonna take it out. Bruce Willis and his team of riggers are the only ones that could possibly go into outer space.
He said riggers.
Yeah. What the wrong R. But yeah, it's
well, since we're not riggers, are we allowed to say that? Is it riggers?
Fuck you.
No, okay. But, no, all right. So I need to see that movie because again, I love him and everything, especially he's playing that crazy ass Russian.
He's a blip of a character. I mean, like he stood out, but he's in there for like a moment.
I want to say like. I'm gonna mix up because I think he's Ukrainian, but I think he might be Swedish. I'm gonna look it up real quick because I want this to be correct.
I know that he always portrays a Russian, and he's not Russian.
Mm-hmm. Dude, he's 71.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean he looks amazing for his age. I don't know how old he was. Late 60s, playing Until Dawn in the movie, and he still looks really fucking good.
He's in the movie.
But he actually plays in the movie, so that
was
the
so awesome.
So
that's so cool.
Once I saw him, I'm like, yes, because like he is again that connective tissue between the game. Like he was
the narrator in the game,
the therapist narrator in the game, and he's pretty much the same thing in the movie.
Oh, cool, yeah,
and stuff. So he's Swedish.
That's even better.
Okay, so
that's cool.
My bad for saying that Ukrainian. Movie did very well. Doing what it was doing on how, once when you died, you came back and you kind of remembered how you died and stuff. Like you kind of remember the pain, you remember that moment, and each night is different. So it's not just doing the same thing. It's like, wait, this didn't happen last night.
Oh, fuck.
So it is not really that boring. It is a lot of fun, and it is definitely a must-watch. Like I'm pretty sure it'll be streaming before you know it. You got to check out this fucking movie.
I feel like I won't have a problem with this one. Like I said, that comment comes from a deep seed of hate for the Borderlands movie because you actually had to play it several times in order to get the full experience from the game. And
I can't play that game.
You're just not going to brain dump the goddamn game that you played for 4 months or whatever.
I guess it was easy for me. I guess we're done talking about Until Dawn. We're talking about Borderlands, where I actually kind of liked the movie. I didn't hate it. We're talking about video games right now.
I'm just saying that I think I can get through Until Dawn for sure because sometimes you gotta go off a beaten path with a movie, and I get that.
I think that's one of the things. Like this movie didn't Until Dawn movie didn't really take place from any of the video games of like the Quarry or Until Dawn, and I think a lot of people were hating it because it's like, oh, it's not like the video game. It's like, no, the video game is was it a 40-hour movie to begin with?
Right.
Then why are you going to try to condense a 40-hour movie video game into an
Which,
hour
by
and
the
a
way,
half
you could
movie?
choose your own fucking path on.
Yeah.
So yeah, this could have been one of the paths that you couldn't travel in the video game. I mean, I guess when you're looking at it from that light.
So like on that end, this movie is phenomenal, and that time frame, it has that same vibe, that same feel to it. Granted, you don't really feel it until technically night 5 or something like that. And I was like, oh, I kind of see it's like the restart and all that stuff. But it is a definite must watch.
Like a fucking fever dream.
It does feel like that, and I think that's how it kind of helps you get used to this movie.
Like, what is it? Happy Death Day.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it's like Groundhog's Day, but with murder. Well,
ooh.
A lot more violence because he kills himself like 8 times in Groundhog Day.
Not so much more violence, more blood.
More blood, yeah.
Because still the toaster, fucking walking, hi,
walking into traffic,
like,
yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, no. So I mean, there's one of the recent movies that also kind of came up before this that was huge with a lot of the kids, and a lot of people didn't like, because I think there was another movie that wasn't based off of a video game that did better. But Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights
at Freddy's. So I can see why people liked it so much. I had a niece that would play that all the fucking time.
And I know a lot of people don't like. It didn't have a good representation of the two.
I feel like when that kind of game, in my opinion, didn't have the strongest of storylines. Not saying it didn't have one, but to do what they did with the movie, it wasn't that bad. Not to mention, I was stoked to see Matthew Lillard back on the big screen.
Anything with Matthew Lillard in it, I'm going to watch.
They're making a second one, and I heard they're going to have Skeet Ulrich in there.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. They're bringing back the first 2 killers from Scream.
I think Matthew's supposed to be in it as well, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's what they're fucking stoked about, is that, they're bringing back some old school characters from other movies and going, no. Go ahead and watch this with your kids. Share some history.
On that end, if they actually do bring Skeet Ulrich in it, it might be a great Five Nights at Freddy's might actually be a great gateway horror movie.
Oh yeah,
especially when it actually goes into the horror, like the history of horror movies. Because what are they going to do? They're going to go watch Scream, and then they're going to learn who Wes Craven is, and then they're going to go to Nightmare on Elm Street, and I feel like that could just be the great gateway.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with you. I was surprised that they made a game like At first, I was laughing at Five Nights at Freddy's because all I saw was the characters, and then I saw the gameplay, and I'm like, okay, I can see why you're a little freaked out.
I feel like they had to make it because Nick Cage made a better one. Because everyone was saying, "Oh, Willy's Wonderland was Five Nights at Freddy's," but it wasn't. But Willy's Wonderland is.
I didn't see it as Five Nights at Freddy's. I thought it was like more like when Chuck E. Cheese attacks.
I think that's the reason why they're putting the two together, because it's like a disjointed pizzeria. Where kids threw parties.
A child's casino goes awry.
Yeah. Where the mascots come back and kill. But it's just. I love Willy's Wonderland so fucking much.
I thought it could have used a little more, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I would when I first watched it.
It was just enough. Nick Cage
Nick Cage is fantastic.
Like,
all right,
and he's still acting like Nick Cage.
That was a good one.
Nick Cage caging it up.
Yep. Well, there's only one movie that was fantastic, and it wasn't Nick Cage being Nick Cage, and it was Pig.
Which I still need to see.
Yeah, you should really watch that one.
Told me that Pig is
fucking great.
It's like John Wick, or isn't it?
Yes.
Like John
only
Wick,
instead of his dog getting killed, somebody steals his truffle pig.
Yeah.
You can't have that shit. And I think it's a Pacific Northwest movie.
I own the disc. I gotta watch it.
But yeah. Back to video games.
Yeah. But talking about Until Dawn.
Yeah.
All right, we're off pause again. Is The Quarry that came out. If you like the video game Until Dawn, you'll love The Quarry, which is more of a if you like Friday the 13th games as well.
There's so many things that tie into it. I feel like
finished.
I haven't finished Quarry yet, but if you've watched anything in the last 5 years as far as horror, like from Stranger Things to any fucking movie, you're gonna not only enjoy the storyline of this, you're going to recognize the people in there, because they're just, it's almost copy and paste. This is what the character looks like. This is what the person voicing them.
You have a lot of actual famous horror actors in this movie, or in the video game. Not even almost famous ones. You even have, I wish I could remember his name, but he played on I watched the TV Glow. I think I know that guy. And I was like,
the kid that was in Pokemon. That's what I recognize him from. Yeah,
the
new Pikachu, the Detective Pikachu.
We're still on topic because it's video games.
Yeah.
Yes, we're doing better. But no, the video game is. I didn't play it because it was like the quarry, so I was thinking, I was like, "Was this like a fucking desert, like a Grand Canyon-ish game?" And it's not really. Like, it is a summer camp where shit goes awry.
Yes. A lot of people have shit with the games you watch, because that's pretty much what this is. Those storyline games. There's not a whole lot of first-person shooter aspects to it or anything like that, and it's not exactly like Silent Hill or Resident Evil where you have to make yourself an assortment of shit to keep so that you can use them later on.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like you find a collectible,
Yeah.
and that collectible can unlock the storyline you're on or a different one, and
It give you more in depth about that storyline that you're
it
currently
could
on.
throw you off track completely, and you chose a different storyline. I mean, the only beef I have with this one so far is I like that I can see how far off of one storyline I am with certain games. In this one, it is a guessing game. You could replay it and then choose one thing different and still get 30% of the whole story you had before, or something completely different.
This would be like one of the things I'll ruin for you too. Slightly ruin. So like there are those moments where you find those clues and it gives you a 5 to 10 second clip of what happens. Like during I don't even think it really tells you if it's like a death scene or if this is a scene that helps saves a life or something. Like
the
it gives
totems
you
in
scene.
Until Dawn. Yeah.
But there are times where you'll see like, oh, this is that scene, and you try to do something and it has nothing to do with any of the stuff.
Yeah.
So, which makes the game pretty fun. It makes it kind of enjoyable if you actually more of those cutscenes. Like, wait, oh, I got to do something here. What is it? And it means literally nothing.
That's kind of what I like about The Quarry so far, is that the storytelling is very strong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because you have a group of actors that are also storytellers themselves. So it barely any effort into carrying itself to success, in my opinion. I'm just surprised that more people haven't heard of it or played it, because, I mean,
I feel like a lot of people.
It is a creature feature a little bit, so
I feel like a lot of people in the video game community has seen the cover or has heard of it, but hasn't played it because of it being what it is, which I completely understand. And it is a long game, no matter how you play it. But one aspect of this game that I do really enjoy is it is a multiplayer. So not so much like in the typical multiplayer where you
not
play
like
both
Resident
at
Evil
once.
4 or 5. It's more like
it is like you and I think it's X amount of people. I don't remember how many people could actually play this game. I think it's like 4 people could actually be a multiplayer on this game, and each player picks a character. So when that character pops up in the video game, that player is that player.
It's like original Mario. When you die and Luigi pops on the screen, give that shit up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like, again, with my girlfriend and I playing it and stuff, there would be times like where 4 different people popped up and she'd be playing all 4 fucking people, and she gets up like, and it's kind of sucks because like I'm just sitting there
it's just
like,
watching the storyline.
It kind of sucks. It's like I want to play, but at the same time, though, it's like I'm actually sitting back and watching this movie.
That's what I enjoyed about when I was a care provider. That's the kind of games we choose after a while, because he couldn't play the games anymore. So it's like, well, choose something that's going to have a good storyline. Mm-hmm. That's when I showed him something like Borderlands, and I think he would have enjoyed The Quarry because of how strong the storyline actually is. So it's entertaining whether you have the remote in your hands or not. Just,
Yeah, like you have the multiplayer aspect, or if you have someone that just wants to enjoy watching someone play video games, like that is definitely something you could probably turn on, and some people might actually enjoy watching.
You could have a good horror night with that. Snacks, some drinks in that game. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, actually, that'd be like honestly like a perfect almost like date night type thing.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Popcorn, not date night type of thing.
But I'm a little nerdy, so.
Yeah, like horror movies or that video game, like it's down for any of that stuff.
Yeah. If I had 3 respawns left, I'd hope I'd never respawn as that bitch Bridget. God damn you, Bridget.
Fucking Bridget.